Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a woman that has watched a lot of movies with me recently. It's Megan Hoffmeyer.
It's the award season.
I mean, we've been busy.
Yeah, it's fun though. I like this part of the year.
I mean,
it's crushing a little bit, but it's all good stuff.
It's such a first world problem, but it's been fun to tear through some really good movies.
Yeah, and then you get to tell other people that you've seen all of these fabulous movies ahead of time.
Oh, weird. Look what I got.
Oh, yeah, you plan to go watch that in the theater? I saw it already.
So here's what, this is just a quick episode because I've watched so many movies recently, I don't have time to write reviews for all of them. I don't have time to do an episode on all of them. We don't have time to cover them in all of our random awards. Mm-hmm. A lot of them won't be in my top 10 when I make that post. So I just wanted to cover movies that we've watched recently and just go through them really quick. Almost like a speed round, no spoilers. We'll recommend them, not recommend them. We'll just go through each one pretty quick. It's going to be a speed round. So
okay.
Does that sound okay?
I'm ready.
All right, so one movie we watched recently, and the embargo just cleared today, but it's Babylon.
Oh, yeah.
Damien Chazelle's 3-hour-long epic that features an elephant pooping on somebody, lots of vomit, lots of excess, and just, $78 million. Huge, crazy, lots of nudity, lots of drugs, lots of death.
Yes.
It's the kind of movie that someone can make after they made Whiplash, First Man, and La La Land.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
it's over the top. I don't know. There's no way to describe it without giving everything away, but it's about excess, and I think it pulls it off.
It does, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's big, it's loud, it's brash.
It's
Everyone's
excessively
committed.
Long.
Yeah. But it didn't weigh on us, did it? Did it ever weigh on you?
A little, yeah.
Oh.
I noticed that it was long. We've watched some other long movies this season, and they didn't feel the way this movie did. But maybe it's because there's just so much packed into all of that longness that you're like, woof, this is a lot.
The most impressive thing is that this movie starts with an elephant pooping on somebody, then a party that features every type of nudity and drug.
It's like an orgy and a party, but some other stuff mixed in.
It's like an orgy party.
Yeah.
A Hollywood 1920s orgy party. But then the movie never drops
Hollywood-gasm?
It keeps it up for the next 3 hours.
Right.
So, a lot of movies wouldn't have that ability. So it's very heightened. All right, next. This might be in some of your lists, but The Woman King.
Oh, man. Wow.
Right?
Oh, yeah. It's just, I think I saw the trailers and it is everything that I wanted it to be after watching the trailers. It's just awesome. And these women have such great physicality and the fights are just so interesting to watch. Yes, so good. And
not our friend, but we love Gina Prince Bythewood. She also directed Love and Basketball, which
favorite all-timer.
Can Sanaa Lathan get an Oscar nomination just for that movie?
I hope so.
That'd be pretty cool, right?
Right.
Let's make that happen.
Every year they should go back and give someone an Oscar. Just a random one.
Yeah. Like, we messed up.
Right.
And hand it to them. Like, this should have been nominated. But this movie, though, just watching Viola Davis, Lashana Lynch, John Boyega, it's, and what Sheila Atim, like, they're just cool. And
yeah, the women are just so, they're badass. They're really fierce and it just comes across and it's so cool. And John Boyega, I actually had to keep reminding myself that was him while watching him. He did a good job losing himself in the role.
It's kind of weird because with Viola Davis, you always think that she's just going to be good. I feel like whenever you see a Viola Davis, like, oh, well, she's going to be good. Right. But in this one, the physicality was on a next level. Like, normally she has a very powerful presence, but in this one, she was able to actually be a powerful presence while having a powerful
those abs,
presence.
Oh my gosh.
But like, just the story, I think it's just a cool story that doesn't get told much, and I really dug it. Like, she is just cool. And I also like Lashana Lynch between this, No Time to Die. She's on a roll right now, so it's cool seeing her blow up in Hollywood. So I
love it. Definite recommend.
Devotion.
Oh, so good. I think it's a great story. Glenn Powell is another Navy pilot.
But the Korean War
doesn't get covered a lot. So that's kind of cool. We have a lot of veterans at work, and I was talking about this movie, and they were talking about how this war doesn't get enough, I guess, love in media.
Yeah. They were talking about the coldness of the mountains, like -30.
Oof.
And also too, you have Jonathan Majors in this. Like, he's going to be...
he's fantastic. I always enjoy him.
For lack of a better word, he's going to be a major player for years. He's in Ant-Man. He was in
Loki.
And then he was also in, what's the one with the monsters that we liked a lot?
Oh, Lovecraft Country?
Lovecraft Country.
Such a fun show.
And I just want everyone to know that I watched The Last Black Man in San Francisco, and I said he was going to be big years ago. So I just want everyone to know that.
Well, you were right.
But Devotion, I really like the cinematography.
Oh, it's quite beautiful. I kept noticing the shots. Just, we've seen a lot of airplane movies, and there were some really beautiful shots of airplanes here.
Yeah, and it works well. It's told quite, for lack of a better word, Meg, isn't it quite stodgy? Like it's very
a little serious. I mean, I think they're trying to give credibility and weight to the story, and I think it deserves it. It feels a little over serious sometimes, but I still like it.
Yeah. So, and then also the cinematography by Eric Messerschmidt.
I mean, definitely tearing up at the end there.
And guess he shot Only the Brave.
Oh,
he
gosh.
shot Sicario, Day of the Soldado.
I can't talk about Only the Brave.
He's just, he's just he also shot Mank, Meg. He worked on Legion. Like the I love the shots in this movie, and it looks great. He also did Mindhunter. Like, come on now.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, I dig it. And watching Majors and Powell together, two actors I like.
Mm-hmm.
And, whenever Powell's in a plane, watch it. Also, whenever Powell plays baseball or watches baseball, like, and set it up or everybody wants some.
True.
Watch it. All right.
Just watch Glenn Powell movies, basically.
Next movie.
Watch Scream Queens.
Ooh.
So good. Season 1.
Emma Roberts is a beast.
She's a maniac in that show, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, she's so good. The Whale.
The Whale.
Darren Aronofsky's The Whale. Do you like the movie?
I don't know. I'm undecided. I love Brendan Fraser.
Yeah.
Brendan Fraser.
Fraser. Not Fraser Fur, but no, Fraser.
Fraser. He is fantastic. He is transformed in this. He's so soulful, and it brings a lot of empathy to a subject that I feel like people turn into caricature a lot of times. My mom was a bariatric coordinator and dealt with a lot of patients like this, and it's nice to bring this kind of humanity.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess I can't speak from that, but watching him eat and watching him sort of live, it's not portrayed as a shallow hell type situation.
No, it's not a joke at all.
No.
There's nothing is played for laughs. You feel bad for them. And it's also a bit of the trauma that all the people inflict upon each other.
Yeah.
Which was interesting.
And just watching him with his daughter, but this is Fraser's movie. He owns the screen. He's committed. He's transformative. I think he is. I'm really happy that he's up for the Academy Awards right now. There is an actor I want to win, but I doubt he'll win. We'll get to that in a second. But I just think that The Whale is his movie, and he is just so good in it. And that, like you said, the empathy that he finds and the warmth that he finds is just perfection.
Right.
So good. Okay, this is why you watched this last night. I
did.
Absolutely adore this movie, and I want Paul Mescal to win Best Actor at the Academy Awards. It won't happen. I want the cinematography to win. I want everything. I want Aftersun to win every award.
So many movies tugging on the emotions this year.
So
is it us or is it the movies?
It's us. I think because we had some stuff,
we had a baby,
but I just want to say
it changes us.
So I watched the movie and it hit me hard, and then we watched it again, and my bias just welled up. Charlotte Wells absolutely crushed this movie, and you kind of said it wrecked movies for you for a little bit because
the shots in this are just so interesting and different. They all feel like memories to me. And I think that was the point. There was a lot of memory for the director, but it was also just the way that it's shot. It's not a typical, there are two people in a room and a camera is pointing at them and they're talking to each other and they're delivering dialogue. It's the way I'm talking to you right now. I'm not looking in your eyes. I'm looking at the Creature from the Black Lagoon poster over there, or I'm looking at your reflection in the computer as we speak and looking at the screens. It's focusing on those things while people talk around the stuff that you're actually looking at. So it just feels much more real.
Yeah, it does.
Less staged.
And it always feels organic. The shots make sense. The performances are so good. And for me, I've always had a hard time with biopics and people sort of transforming for a role, gaining weight, losing weight. Because I always feel like that's a bit of a crutch, like mimicry. And I'm not saying actors shouldn't win for that. But you watch this and you watch Paul Mescal's, you watch him. Like, that's a performance. It's not hiding behind anything. As our friend says, that's what a lager is. You can't hide the taste of a lager. But you can an IPA. You can put more hops in it and stuff like that. Like, you can... you can. That's a really weird analogy, but he always says it. So he's probably told us that 10 times in the last year. But I just think the movie itself is just so beautiful, and I just well up beyond all belief talking about it.
I feel like I need to watch it again because I was a little bit stressed about what was going to happen at the end of the movie, and now that I know how it all shakes out, I feel like I could relax more with it.
Yeah, do it. All right, I'm down. Next, The Invitation. Nathalie Emmanuel.
Oh my gosh, this movie. I think it was exactly what we wanted, though.
Yeah.
You were like, I have a surprise for you. And I thought about it and I said, the vampire movie.
Yeah.
The vampire, what was it? The vampire dinner movie or something?
Yeah, it's like a Dracula.
Oh my gosh.
But it's cool seeing Nathalie Emmanuel headline a movie. Game of Thrones, Fast and Furious, you got to support her. There's a couple good vampire scares. Aaron Newworth of the Out Now with Aaron and Abe podcast, I sent him a message. I'm like, yeah, I just want to watch something that was not going to win any awards. And he was like, that'll do. But
right. No, the dialogue is, yeah, but
and the production design, and there's a...
I mean, the location is pretty great.
There's a scene, though, where they go, hey, how are you doing today? And she's like, oh, I'm doing very good. How are you? Like, it's just, you're like, oh, no.
That's like me at a work function.
It's...
delivering dialogue, not a movie.
It's fine, if that's what you want.
No, it's just, a crazy little vampire movie.
Yeah. With Nathalie Emmanuel
A romance that goes instantly full throttle.
That Yeah. Yeah, they go for it immediately. Well, he is a vampire. He's got that,
right.
He's got that.
Maybe it's a glamour. Maybe she's not that readily available.
Yeah, and she's just charmed by a vampire.
One can hope.
Yeah, listen, the guy, it's fine.
Oh, what was the comment you made about him?
I don't know. He's just, I don't want to say it. I'm like, why are we watching this guy? Yeah, but...
Yeah, it does fixate on him a lot. Just,
they cast him for the looks. I wouldn't say not necessarily the performance.
Yeah, he looks like that vampire sort of.
Yeah.
We need if you saw him walking down the street, you go, you should be in a vampire movie.
That's how he got the role. No,
a couple of the ladies too.
He's been around for a long time, but it's the lady from Mr. Robot is actually having fun in it. So, but if you just want to sit down and enjoy a quick movie, watch The Invitation. Next, The Menu.
Oh yes, this movie is. I really don't want to say anything because I have mentioned it to a couple people and they do know a little bit about it, but not as much as there is going on in the movie. So I don't want to say too much other than I love it and it's kind of nuts. And Ralph Fiennes is fantastic.
Yeah, I don't want to say anything.
He's
like
so
Barbarian.
Good. I love him.
I knew nothing about it. I hadn't seen a trailer. I looked at the IMDb description. It kind of wrecked it for me. I thought it was going to be sort of like a Death of Stalin type movie, but...
Oh, some Iannucci? That would be... I would watch this movie if it was Iannucci, too.
But Ralph Fiennes, just give him an Oscar nom.
Right. Yes.
I don't think people understand how... People do understand because it's very popular, but it's a really good role.
Also, I like that this movie was filmed here in Georgia, what was it, Tybee Island? They were supposed to film in Scotland, but... the second wave of COVID hit and they had to do it here, which love that little coastal Georgia look. Oh yeah.
Well, as soon as we saw those logs on the beach, we're like, we've been there.
Yeah.
The driftwood. All right, next, White Noise. Noah Baumbach.
Man, there's a lot of bonkers movies this year. People went for it and I am adoring that about 2022 because I love a bonkers movie.
They sent me gum and a sweater, Netflix did, for this movie.
They sent you Dylar.
Yeah.
Is that a statement on what Dylar actually is? Is it really gum?
Oh, I think,
is it like Mentos or Tic Tacs?
We won't be afraid of death anymore. It's one of those movies, though.
Unless it doesn't work on you.
The book has, 3 parts? And then the movie tries to blend those parts. And I think most people are going to hate it. But it hit my wavelength just right. Like, Greta Gerwig is excellent. Adam Driver has been getting nominated for it, rightly so. Just Don Cheadle's in it.
Yeah, it's definitely not a mainstream movie. No. Mm-mm.
Don Cheadle loves Elvis. Adam Driver teaches about Hitler.
It's funny and weird and just a bit out there.
Yeah.
Stay at the credits for the scene there. That's a lot of fun.
That LCD sound system song is pretty
actually
hot.
It's very catchy. It was stuck in my head for a couple hours after that.
If someone said, "Hey, explain this movie."
I actually read the Wikipedia description of the book and I couldn't tell you from there, condense it down what that is. But it's fun. It's weird. I like Adam Driver in these kind of roles. I loved him in The Dead Don't Die, and this feels a little bit on that wavelength.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, next. Wildcat.
Oh gosh, Wildcat. So you put this movie on, what were we doing? Dinner or working out or something? Or I don't know, was I working? I'm not even sure. But this is one of those movies where I looked up and I started watching it and then I couldn't stop watching it for 2 hours.
The way that they capture, though, PTSD, depression, codependent relationships.
Abusive relationships.
And I think it demystifies the rainforest a little bit. Like, I think it does a good job of sort of focusing in on mental health issues and then also saying, like, just showcasing the rainforest.
But also the cats.
Ocelots. Would Archer be happy?
Oh, yeah. Cheryl. Cheryl would be very happy.
But yeah, just it has no easy answers, and it's very empathetic, and I just like the actor. Like, not the actor. I like the two people in it. I thought that they're doing good work out there.
Well, they didn't seem to edit much out for sensitivity.
They both look bad. Like, they both admit their faults. And
yeah,
I mean,
stuff happens. Not anything truly awful, sort of, maybe not. But they don't edit things out. They're not really trying to spare the viewers and make anybody feel better about it.
No, it's just a good doc.
Another sit down, emotional, give yourself a good cry.
Yeah, and I teared up too. I've been tearing up a lot. I'll talk about a movie that didn't make me tear up. Emily the Criminal. I like it, but there's no tears. It's just Aubrey Plaza being a beast.
Yeah, I mean, you were right when you said this is her really sort of owning that grown-up thing. She's done like the 20-something a lot, or
Black Bear, where she's that actress who's kind of messed up, has issues.
Yeah, or Ingrid Goes West, where she's got issues and she's the 20-something. This is a really grown-up role for her, and I liked seeing her in that. I like the end, honestly.
Yeah, I mean,
I like when she goes at these people who try to rob her.
She's a beast.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's worth watching. It's well made. Lee Wanell likes it. Cool.
They let her be very decisive, and that's fun.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of waffling or worrying about morals and whatnot, because I don't think there's room for morals in this movie, but
she's just down to keep going.
Right.
Money. All right. Next, Spin Me Round, another Aubrey Plaza movie.
Oh my gosh.
IFC film. Alison Brie wrote it.
You know, it's funny, when we were talking about The Invitation, I was just thinking I would love to see a mashup of this and The Invitation, where they take that sort of satire of a romance with the vampire bride thing and,
yeah,
twist them together and make them something new.
Like, I mean, like an Olive Garden. Olive Garden's owned by a vampire.
Oh my gosh.
And then they have to go travel to Transylvania to do cooking schools.
And he has to pick some brides.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
But the restaurant manager.
But it's also a satire of romances.
I mean, the problem with Spin Me Round is, I don't know if I can really classify it as, it's a movie, but there's so many disparate elements, and it's 8 movies at once, and they never actually gel at all. But it's very memorable.
I do like the ending, though.
Oh, listen, the ending's good. I mean, the actor's Alessandro Nivola, he's funny. The boat scene.
I think I understand what they were going for. Did it get there in the way I think that Babylon did? No. But it's still got some weird, fun stuff.
Yeah, and listen, it's so unpredictable that...
It really is.
I like what they were going for, though. And I'm not trying to sound reductive, because, I mean, there's just a weird scene where Alison Brie and another guy have an entire conversation while crunching on a rock path. And I'm like, this is not smart. Like, I don't know why they did this. But it's just, I guess it just has character.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it does. It has character.
And it's worth
There's
watching.
Lots of character.
Molly
Shannon.
You're going to love this. Where the Crawdads sing. Meg, this is your time.
I plead the fifth. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, it's
It looks good.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift has a nice song in it. Let's talk about that.
Our homeboy's in it. Garrett Dillahunt.
Oh, no, but he's like the bad dad. I hate that for him.
All right. Moving on. Next.
Yeah, I hard don't recommend on Crawdads.
EO.
I don't want to talk about this one either.
What about the cinematography?
It's beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful cinematography.
If you love animals and you don't like brutality, avoid. But it's beautiful.
Triangle of Sadness.
Oh my gosh. This movie.
It's 2.5 hours of insanity.
See, but this movie did not feel like 2.5 hours to me.
Mm-mm.
It just goes by at such a weird, crazy pace. I say weird a lot, but there's been some strange movies this year, and I'm all here. I'm for it.
I mean, listen, it goes there.
It goes there so hard that I can totally see why it's at the top of a lot of awards lists.
It won the Palme d'Or,
I know.
and it just won at the European Film Awards. And it has a great grenade bit.
It does. Grenades had a year. So did donkeys.
Donkeys,
a bad
grenades, vomit, poop.
Oh my gosh, the vomit and the poop in this movie. I love that it really turned it up to, on a scale of 10, probably 1,000.
And 50.
Yeah.
All right. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Loved it.
Loved it.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
We need to start watching all the other animated films in this movie to see if they can stack up to this one, because it is a little sad, but it's really good.
I mean, yeah, it's melancholy, it's dark, it's everything you want from a Guillermo del Toro stop motion film.
Right.
So good. Next, Spirited. Good afternoon.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so it was long. But it was, I love a Christmas movie. And here's the thing. Christmas movies I don't think they're meant to be the best thing ever. So I'm fine.
Oh, yeah.
With this movie.
It's a weird one because it could have had about 8 different less plot points. But it's still, we enjoyed it. We watched it.
Yes, the songs are memorable.
But it's just, I don't...
Ryan Reynolds is always fun to watch.
I mean, they both go for it. Watching Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds doing choreography while singing and lip syncing, you're like, they went for it. Sometimes I worry about them being kind of lazy with their roles. Red Notice. But they went for it on this. And I admire that.
I like the story arc for Will Ferrell a lot.
Yeah. He's good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next, The Banshees of Inisherin.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Donkeys, fingers, cool sisters. Colin
Farrell.
Okay.
Angst.
I'm going to ask you a big
friendships.
question. Best actor. Colin Farrell, Paul Mescal, or Brendan Fraser? Who wins right now? 3, 2, 1, go.
Colin Farrell.
Oh, he's good, isn't he?
He is. He's really good.
He's just a little dull.
Oh man, but I'm the nice guy.
Oh man, but what's funny? He's a nice guy who's not that quote the bad nice guy. He's actually just a nice guy.
Yeah, he's just a nice guy.
Oh, watch that movie. Next, Pearl.
Oh yeah, this was a good one.
Yeah,
I didn't like X. It was not my favorite, but I like Pearl.
It's organic and it's over the topness.
And Mia Goth does a fantastic job of pulling off the tone. I mean, it's all relying on her, and she does great.
I don't think people realize how tough it is to nail that kind of tone.
Well, I think it takes a lot of energy because it's not a subdued tone by any means. I mean, she's sort of amped up. She's got high feelings in the whole thing, and she goes, from sort of angsty farm girl to stone cold killer.
And only $1 million budget.
That's not a spoiler because the posters have blood all over her face and dress.
It's just such a good movie. And I like that they just took a chance. They took a big swing, and I think they pulled it off.
It is. I was not excited to see it all because, again, X wasn't my favorite. I'm actually now excited to watch Maxine.
Oh, yeah.
To see what she does.
Yeah, Brittany Snow, she's excited for that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm going to do a quick... You haven't seen some of these movies, but I'm just going to do a quick recommendation. There's a documentary called Bad Axe. It's about a family who own a restaurant in, I believe, Michigan, and just them going through the pandemic. Very good, worth a watch. Cate Blanchett in Tar. I don't see anybody beating her. She's excellent. Then we watched Till. Danielle Deadweiler. She's going to be up for Oscars. She carries the screen.
Oh my gosh. So sad. So good.
Yeah. Oh gosh. And then you haven't watched it, but The Inspection. I just watched that. It's another A24 film, but I'm a big Bokeem Woodbine fan.
Yeah.
And he's so good in it, and it just makes me so happy. And then let's see. I have a couple more movies I saw here. Oh, Bones and All. I think it's probably the best cannibal romance of 2022. But I've been thinking about it a lot lately.
Such a wild category.
Mark Rylance in that movie's really stuck with me. He plays a guy called Sully.
Ooh, I love Mark Rylance.
And in the movie, whenever he eats somebody, he cuts their hair off and he carries around like a 20-foot braid of hair of all the people that he's eaten. Their hair. It's disgusting. And he's out of his mind.
Ugh, that feels very Human Centipede to me.
It's gross. Then I'm going to say Clerks 3. I cried. I don't know what it is. Clerks 2 at the end, when the Soul Asylum song comes on, almost cried. Clerks 3, it pulls my heartstrings. I don't know what Kevin Smith does, but watching these movies just hits me right in the gut, square in the chest. Ugh. That's the sound I make. But it's, it's good. I think there's a lot that I could cut out of it, but I think Jeff Anderson is really good. I dig it. I dig it a lot. And are there any other movies that we've watched recently?
You watched Avatar.
Oh yeah, Avatar. That doesn't speak volumes about it.
Uh-oh.
It's good. And I said wow a lot.
It's pretty.
I like the smaller story. And there's sea beasts, so that makes me happy.
True.
What other movies have I seen recently that I forgot? Oh, Something in the Dirt by Benson and Moorhead. They also made Spring, The Endless, and Synchronic. It is a wonderful movie, absolutely worth a watch. Also, A Wounded Fawn and Blood Relatives, which are currently streaming on Shudder. I interviewed Josh Rubin about them, and it was a mess, but he was cool. I'm terrible at interviews, so you can listen to that on the MFF podcast.
What was that movie we watched about the tower?
About the tower. Oh, The Fall?
The Fall, yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't love it, but I thought it really tried, and it looks cool.
It just had one too many twists. Like,
it's okay, though. There were a lot of callbacks, though. I think that they did a good job with that.
No, you're right. And
the girls, it was focused on them, and they did a good job carrying an entire movie.
Yeah, the actors are really good. The VFX is good. And you have to admire a movie that just wanted people to feel the height. Like, it's just a movie that wanted you to enjoy yourself and feel like you were, it's a big screen movie. We should have watched it.
To just fall in love with it.
Dun, dun, dun. All right, Meg. So you're going to be back with me on the random awards. I'm pretty sure we missed a couple movies, but
it's okay. We can do it again.
Yeah, exactly. By at the end of the year, and we can talk about it during our random awards. But I just had to do a big dump of Babylon. Big elephant dump.
Okay.
Of this, like a triangle of sadness of just puke.
Oh no, that's too graphic.
Both ends.
I don't want that in my house.
Best poop flood of 2022.
That's a good way to describe it.
Oh man. I was watching that just feeling unhealthy, but it's just absolutely wonderful.
I mean, that's got to be about, I don't know, what do you think? Almost 2 hours into the movie?
Yeah.
And I saw that scene and I said, I see you, movie. This is what you're going for, and yes.
So good. Let's see. One more thing. Decision to Leave. It's my favorite movie of 2022 so far, so we'll talk about that. Also, Marina.
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
Beautiful. Croatia.
Kino Lorber. They're the best.
Kino Lorber.
Also, I had one more movie I had to talk about. Oh, Women Talking. You haven't watched it yet.
Mm-hmm.
But it just feels unfair to have Jessie Buckley and Claire Foy on screen together. Like, I know Rooney Mara. I know Frances McDormand. Insane cast. But watching those two is kind of like seeing like a Pippin and Jordan together on screen. They're just
Jessie Buckley and everything.
Wild Rose.
Oh, I love Wild Rose so much.
Right. Well, this was great, Meg. Thanks for letting me talk about all these movies.
No, it was fun.
All right,
Can't wait to watch the rest.
And our random awards are coming up soon.
Yes, I have my list.
I feel less weight on my shoulders now. I don't feel as heavy because I got all this off my shoulders talking about all these movies. It's nice.
Well, good. I can't wait. I'm happy to do more. We have a lot of movies left to watch.
Let's go for a run.
Let's do it again in January with the rest.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, a recap of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me, Meg. Again, Hoffmeyer. All right. So for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for Megan Hoffmeyer, this is Movie Sons of Flakes. We'll see you next week.